Rebecca, she's a very good girl. Her little hands went to work. She placed the hoja, well, you know, the leaves, the corn husks that we use to wrap the tamal for cooking, and began to spread the masa for her first tamal. Then she added the meat. She was careful not to put too much. Then she wrapped it. Well, it wasn't until her second tamal that I noticed that she had tears running down her face. Dios mío, mijita, ¿qué te pasa? What is wrong? My daddy loves the meat. He says it's the best part. I'm afraid that there won't be enough meat and that he won't like them. Oh, I had thought we'd make enough tamales for the whole family, but now, with the meat shortage, Rebecca, we could make the ones for your papa nice and fat and the others a little thinner. Yes, Nana, it might work that way. And so we made the tamales for her papa first, nice and plump, full of meat, just how he liked. That evening, the platter with the not-so-plump tamales was placed on the table. And then, ceremoniously, Rebecca brought in her platter of plump tamales, gave them to her papa, her gift for him. They are beautiful and look delicious. Then he whispered in Rebecca's ear. She smiled a very big smile and nodded her head. Rebecca and her papa handed out plum tamales, one to Grandma, one to Rebecca's mother, and one to Grandpa, keeping one for himself that he shared with Rebecca. That evening, everyone had their fill of tamales, but some of us, oh, we had enough with just sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda. For the ancient Aztec people of the Americas, maize, corn, was the foundation of life and culture. In offering of dance, they asked for the maize to grow and be enough for life. Tonight, we get the experience of this offering. The Mexico Folklorica Dance Company, Mexico Lindo, will perform the traditional Aztec dance, Danca del Maiz. Thank you, Mexico Lindo. Now, please turn your attention to the screen where we will view a message from Representative Morrie Lanning, co-chair of the Ladder Out of Poverty Task Force.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Minnesota State Representative Morrie Lanning from Moorhead, co-chair of the Ladder Out of Poverty Legislative Task Force that has been meeting. Thank you for your interest and work in addressing this important issue of eliminating poverty in our state. I was privileged to serve on the Legislative Commission to End Poverty by 2020 that was first approved by the legislature and signed into law by the governor in 2006. We spent a couple of years traveling the state, studying this issue, talking to people who are living in poverty and all kinds of folks who are concerned about trying to do something about poverty in Minnesota. And our commission, co-chaired by Senator John Marty and Representative Carlos Mariani, spent a long time coming up with a series of recommendations, and in 2009, our commission report was released. And that commission report was full of recommendations on what Minnesota can and should do to address the issue of poverty. Then in the 2010 legislative session, Senator Michael Junbauer and I authored a piece of legislation called Ladders Out of Poverty, and that was passed by both bodies and signed into law by the governor.